They announced my retirement at my own birthday party. 300 people watched as my son thanked me for my contributions and said it was time for new leadership. 6 months later, those same 300 people saw me on every news channel in Chicago, standing in front of the collapsed building my son built, the one I tried to warn them about, the one that nearly killed 8 people. If this story matters to you, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. Sometimes I wonder if speaking up was worth destroying my own family. But then I remember those 8 people who almost died, and I know I made the right choice. I'm sitting in a booth at Rosie's Diner on West Madison Street. It's 2:47 inches the afternoon on a Tuesday. I know the exact time because I check my watch every few minutes, like I'm waiting for something, but I'm not waiting for anything. I have nowhere to be. For the first time in 45 years, I have absolutely nowhere to be. My name is Thomas Mitchell. Everyone calls me Tom. I'm 68 years old. I built my first house when I was 23 in Naperville. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom ranch for a young couple with a baby on the way. I did most of the work myself, 17-hour days that summer. When I handed them the keys, the wife cried. The husband shook my hand and said, "Tom, you built our dream." That was 45 years ago. Since then, Mitchell Construction built over 2,000 homes, 47 commercial buildings, and 12 schools across Illinois. We employed 300 people at our peak. Good people. People with families who depended on those paychecks every week. I'm wearing the same flannel shirt I wore yesterday, and the day before, blue and red checks, fraying at the collar. My wife Margaret bought it for me 10 years ago, back when she was still alive. Back when I still had a wife, a company, and a son who looked me in the eye. The coffee in front of me is cold. The waitress, Jenny, she's maybe 30, keeps asking if I want a refill. I keep saying no, I'm not here for the coffee. I'm here because it's warm and I don't want to go back to my apartment. The apartment that smells like old man and regret. Jenny comes by again. She has kind eyes. "Mister, you okay? You've been staring at that menu for 20 minutes. "I'm fine," I tell her. Just thinking. She doesn't believe me. I can tell. But she leaves me alone. 6 months ago, I walked into the grand ballroom at the Palmer House Hotel. My son Derek had organized a surprise party for my 68th birthday. All our biggest clients were there. The mayor sent someone from his office. There were ice sculptures, shaped like houses, an open bar, a slideshow of my greatest projects, playing on 3 giant screens. Derek wore a custom navy suit that probably cost $3,000. His wife Vanessa, she had on a red dress that cost even more. They were smiling. Everyone was smiling. I thought, this is it. This is what 45 years of breaking my back, missing dinners, working through Christmas mornings, this is what it was all for. A room full of people celebrating what we built together. I was wrong. Derek stood at the podium. Microphone feedback screeched for a second. He cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight to celebrate my father, Thomas Mitchell." Applause. I felt proud. My chest puffed up a little. My dad started this company in 1979 with nothing but a truck, a toolbox, and a dream. More applause. I nodded. People were looking at me, smiling. He built Mitchell Construction into what it is today. But times change. The industry changes. And sometimes, the best thing a leader can do is know when to step aside. The room went quiet. Too quiet. "Dad, you've earned your rest. You've earned time to fish, to travel, to enjoy your grandchildren. So tonight, I'm not just celebrating your birthday. I'm announcing your retirement. Effective immediately. I'm taking over as CEO. Let's give my father a round of applause for his 45 years of service." Service. Like I was an employee. Like I didn't own 49% of the company. Like I hadn't built every single thing with my own 2 hands. The room exploded with applause. Some people stood up. Someone was crying. Derek was walking toward me with this huge smile. Vanessa was right behind him, holding a plaque. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking. Margaret died 2 years ago. If she were there, she would have stopped this. She would have stood up and said, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" But Margaret was gone, and I was alone in a room full of 300 people, and I had never felt more alone in my life. Derek hugged me. The cameras flashed. Everyone was clapping. I heard someone say, "How wonderful, a son honoring his father." But Derek whispered in my ear, so quiet only I could hear, "Don't make a scene, Dad. Just smile and wave." I smiled. I waved. Like a trained dog. That was 6 months ago. Now I'm in this diner with cold coffee and no company and no purpose. Derek gave me a retirement package. $20,000. For 45 years. For 2,000 buildings. For a company worth $23 million. My lawyer said I could fight it. But Derek had papers. Papers I apparently signed 2 years ago when Margaret was dying. Papers that said if I became unable to perform my duties, Derek had the right to assume control. Papers that said my stake in the company would convert to a retirement fund paid out over 20 years. I don't remember signing those papers. But there's my signature. Right there in blue ink. The bell above the diner door rings. A man walks in. Big guy, maybe 55, wearing work boots and a green jacket covered in concrete dust. He sees me. His eyes go wide. "Tom? Tom Mitchell?" I look up. It takes me a second. Then I remember. Carlos Rodriguez. He worked for me for 30 years. Started as a day laborer when he was 22. I promoted him to foreman 15 years ago. Best foreman I ever had. "Carlos," I say. "How are you?" He slides into the booth across from me without asking. His face is tight. "Tom, I've been looking for you. I went by your old office. They said you retired. I tried your house. Sold. I finally found your daughter-in-law's assistant who told me you might be around here." "What's wrong?" I ask. Carlos leans forward, his voice drops. "Tom, I got fired 3 months ago. Derek said I was too expensive. He replaced me with some kid who just got his contractor's license." "I'm sorry, Carlos. I didn't know." "That's not why I'm here." He reaches into his jacket, pulls out a folder. "Tom, I kept copies. Of everything." "Copies of what?" "The changes Derek made to the Riverside Towers project. The corners he cut. The inspections he bribed his way through." Carlos opens the folder. There are blueprints, photos, inspection reports with notes scribbled in the margins. "Tom, that building isn't safe. He used substandard materials. The concrete mix is wrong. The rebar spacing doesn't meet code," I told him. I showed him the numbers. He fired me the next day. My chest tightens. Riverside Towers. The biggest project in company history. 42 stories. Mixed use. Residential and commercial. Opening in 2 months. "Carlos, are you sure?" "I've been doing this for 33 years, Tom. You taught me how to read plans. You taught me that cutting corners on safety isn't saving money. It's buying a lawsuit. Or worse." He slides the folder toward me. "You need to do something." "What can I do?" "I'm retired. Remember? You're Tom Mitchell. You built this industry in Chicago. People respect you. If you say something's wrong, they'll listen." I look at the folder. I don't want to open it, because if I open it, I'll see what my son has become. I'll see that he values profit over people, just like I always feared, just like Margaret warned me about. But I open it anyway. The documents are damning. Photos of cracked concrete, inspection reports that were clearly falsified, emails between Derek and the inspector talking about adjusting the findings for a fee, material receipts showing that Derek ordered cheaper steel than what the plans specified. "This is bad," I tell Carlos. "This is criminal." "I know. I've been trying to figure out what to do. I went to the city inspector's office. Got bounced around. Derek has friends there now. Then I thought, maybe if you—" "I'll take care of it," I say, though I have no idea how. Carlos squeezes my shoulder. "Thank you, Tom. I knew you'd do the right thing. That's why I respected you for 30 years. You always did the right thing." He leaves. The folder sits on the table. Jenny comes by. She looks at the papers spread out. "That looks serious," she says. "It is," I tell her. "You gonna do something about it?" I don't answer, because I don't know. That night, I go to Derek's house in Winnetka. Big colonial with a circular driveway and a fountain out front. I built this house for him 5 years ago. Cost materials only. My gift. Vanessa wanted Italian marble in every bathroom. She got it. I ring the doorbell. My granddaughter Emma answers. She's 15, dark hair like her grandmother, my Margaret. She sees me and her face lights up. "Grandpa." She hugs me. She smells like vanilla shampoo and youth. For a moment, everything is okay. "Is your father home?" I ask. Her smile fades. "Yeah. He's in his office. Grandpa, are you okay? Dad said you've been, depressed or whatever. I'm fine, sweetheart. I just need to talk to your dad. She leads me through the house. Photos on the walls. Derek's college graduation. Their wedding. Emma as a baby. But no photos of me, no photos of Margaret. Like we never existed. Derek's office door is closed. Emma knocks. What? His voice is sharp. Grandpa's here. Silence. Then, tell him I'm busy. Emma looks at me, embarrassed. Dad, come on. Emma, I said I'm busy. I pat Emma's shoulder. It's okay, I tell her. I'll wait. I don't wait. I open the door anyway. Derek is behind his desk, laptop open, papers everywhere. Vanessa's there too, sitting on the leather couch, scrolling through her phone. They both look up, annoyed. Dad, I said I was busy. We need to talk, I say. I drop Carlos's folder on his desk. Derek doesn't even look at it. Whatever Carlos told you, he's lying. He was stealing from the company. That's why I fired him. That's not true, I say. Carlos never stole a dime in 30 years. Vanessa stands up. Tom, maybe you should leave. Derek has a lot of work to do. I ignore her. I open the folder. I show Derek the photos, the inspection reports, the emails. Derek, this building isn't safe. You need to shut down construction. You need to fix this before someone gets hurt. Derek closes the laptop. He looks at me with eyes I don't recognize, cold, calculating. Dad, you don't understand how business works anymore. Things have changed. We can't afford to rebuild sections that are already complete. We're over budget as it is. People could die, I say. No one's going to die. Carlos doesn't know what he's talking about. The building is fine. It passed all inspections. Because you paid off the inspector. I'm pointing at the emails now. This is fraud, Derek. This is criminal. Vanessa steps between us. Tom, I think you need to leave. You're clearly not well. Maybe we should talk about getting you some help. Some help? I built that company. I know what safe construction looks like. And this, I slam my hand on the folder. This is not safe. Derek stands up. He's taller than me now. When did that happen? Dad, listen carefully. You are retired. You have no authority in this company anymore. If you go to anyone with these documents, I will sue you for defamation. I will sue Carlos for theft of company property. And I will make sure everyone knows that you're a bitter old man who can't accept that his time has passed. He walks to the door, opens it. Now get out of my house. Emma is standing in the hallway. She heard everything. Tears are running down her face. Dad, why are you being so mean? Emma, go to your room. But Grandpa's just trying to... Now. Emma runs upstairs. I hear her door slam. I look at my son, this man I raised, this man I taught to tie his shoes, to ride a bike, to measure twice and cut once. This man I gave everything to. You're making a mistake, I say quietly. Derek's jaw is tight. The only mistake I made was waiting this long to take over. You were holding this company back with your old-fashioned ideas about quality and safety. The world doesn't work that way anymore, Dad. It's about profit margins and shareholder value. It's about winning. And if someone dies, no one's going to die. Now leave before I call the police. I leave. I take the folder with me. Emma watches from her bedroom window as I get into my truck. I wave. She waves back, still crying. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in the office of the Chicago Tribune. The investigative reporter, David Chen, is across from me. He's maybe 40, sharp eyes, taking notes on everything I say. So let me get this straight, David says. Your son took over your company, forced you into retirement, and is now building a structurally unsafe high-rise? That's correct, I say. And you have documentation? I slide Carlos's folder across the desk. David spends 20 minutes going through everything. The photos, the emails, the inspection reports. His expression darkens with each page. This is serious, Mr. Mitchell. If what you're saying is true, this could be one of the biggest construction scandals in Chicago history. It's true, I tell him. Every word. David leans back. Here's my problem. Your son is well connected. He has friends at City Hall. He's donated to the mayor's campaign. If I run this story, and we're wrong, the Tribune will get sued into oblivion. We're not wrong, I say. Can I talk to Carlos Rodriguez? Yes. I'll give you his number. What about the inspector? The one who allegedly took bribes? I don't know if he'll talk, but you can try. David writes something down. Mr. Mitchell, why are you doing this? This is your son, your company. If this story runs, everything you built will be destroyed. I look out the window. Lake Michigan is gray under cloudy skies. Because my wife Margaret, she made me promise something before she died. She took my hand and said, Tom, promise me you'll always do the right thing, even when it's hard, even when it costs you everything. I look back at David. I made a promise, I tell him, and I'm keeping it. David nods slowly. Okay, give me 2 weeks. I'll investigate. If everything checks out, we'll run it. I leave the Tribune building feeling lighter, like I can breathe again. That night, my phone rings. It's Derek. Dad, I heard you went to the Tribune. How did you? I have friends everywhere. You need to call them back. You need to tell them you made a mistake. That you're confused. That you're sick. I'm not confused, Derek. And I'm not sick. Dad, please, don't do this. You'll destroy everything. The company, our family, Emma's future. Emma will be fine. She's strong, like her grandmother. I'm warning you. If that story runs, you'll never see Emma again. I'll make sure of it. Then I guess I won't see Emma again. I hang up. My hands are shaking. I've just lost my son. But maybe I lost him a long time ago and just didn't want to see it. 2 days later, I get a call from David Chen. Mr. Mitchell, I need you to come to the Riverside Towers site. Now. What happened? Just come. Bring Carlos. I pick up Carlos. We drive to the construction site. There are fire trucks, ambulances, police cars. The site is swarming with emergency vehicles. My heart drops. We park half a block away. David Chen meets us at the police barricade. There was a partial collapse, David says. The 8th floor. The concrete gave way during a cement pour. 8 workers fell. 3 are in critical condition. 5 have broken bones. No deaths, thank God. But it was close. My legs feel weak. Carlos grabs my arm to steady me. The city inspector is here, David continues. He's singing like a canary, confirming everything in your documents. Derek Mitchell is being brought in for questioning. And Mr. Mitchell? David looks at me seriously. The Tribune is running the story tomorrow. Front page. Son's greed nearly kills, 8 after forcing founder into retirement. I can't speak. All I can do is stare at that building, that monument to my son's greed, that thing that almost became a tomb for 8 men. Carlos says quietly, Tom, you saved their lives. If you hadn't spoken up, if that building had opened with residents inside. He doesn't finish. He doesn't have to. The next morning, my phone doesn't stop ringing. Every news outlet in Chicago wants to talk to me. David Chen's article is everywhere. I'm on the front page of the Tribune. An old photo of me from 20 years ago, standing in front of one of my buildings, wearing a hard hat, smiling. The headline, Founder Tom Mitchell blows whistle on son's dangerous construction. I made a promise to always do the right thing. By noon, the story has gone national. CNN picks it up, Fox News, MSNBC. Everyone wants the story of the father who took down his own son to save lives. My phone buzzes. A text from a number I don't recognize. Grandpa, it's Emma. I'm using my friend's phone. Dad took mine away. I just want you to know I love you. You did the right thing. Grandma would be proud. I cry. Right there in Rosie's diner where this all started. Jenny brings me tissues without saying a word. 3 months later, I'm sitting in a courtroom. Derek is at the defendant's table with his lawyers. The charges are fraud, bribery, reckless endangerment. The prosecutor is asking for jail time. I don't testify. I don't have to. Carlos does. The inspector does. The workers who fell do. Their testimony is devastating. Derek never looks at me, not once during the entire trial. The jury finds him guilty on all counts. The judge sentences him to 4 years in prison, 3 years probation, and permanent revocation of his contractor's license. Mitchell Construction declares bankruptcy. Too many lawsuits from the injured workers. Too much liability. The company I spent 45 years building is liquidated to pay settlements. Vanessa divorces Derek before he even goes to prison. She takes Emma and moves to California. Her last words to me are, I hope you're happy. You destroyed your own family. But here's what she doesn't understand. Here's what Derek never understood. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stays when everything falls apart. Carlos stayed. He visits me every Sunday. We have coffee at Rosie's and we talk about the old days, the good projects, the buildings we're proud of. Jenny stayed. She brings me free pie and asks how I'm doing. Really doing. David Chen stayed. He won a journalism award for his reporting. He still calls to check on me. And Emma stayed. She turned 18 last month. The first thing she did was call me. Grandpa, I'm old enough to make my own choices now. Can I come visit? She's sitting across from me right now in Rosie's diner. She's telling me about college, about architecture school, about how she wants to design buildings that are beautiful and safe. Grandpa, she says, I want to learn from you. Will you teach me? And I realize something. Derek took my company. He took my money. He took my legacy. But he couldn't take what matters. He couldn't take the fact that I did the right thing. He couldn't take the respect of the people who knew me. He couldn't take the love of my granddaughter who sees me for who I really am. Margaret was right. Doing the right thing costs everything, but it's worth it. I look at Emma, and I see Margaret's eyes. I see hope. I see the future. Yes, I tell her. I'll teach you everything I know. That night, I go home to my small apartment. I open my laptop. I write an email to the community college where I used to teach night classes 20 years ago. Dear Dean Harrison, I'm writing to see if you're still looking for someone to teach construction safety and ethics. I have 45 years of experience, and one hell of a story to tell. I hit send. 3 days later, they offer me the position. Part-time, teaching 2 classes a semester. It doesn't pay much, but money was never the point. On my first day of class, 23 students show up. Most of them are young, a few are older, career changers. They all look at me like I'm ancient history. I write my name on the board, Thomas Mitchell. You might have heard of me, I say. I'm the guy whose son nearly killed 8 people because he cared more about profit than safety. The room goes silent. I'm also the guy who turned him in, and I'm here to make sure none of you become him. A kid in the back raises his hand. Mr. Mitchell, was it worth it? Losing everything? I think about Derek in prison. I think about my company gone. I think about the life I built for 45 years, vanished. Then I think about 8 men who went home to their families instead of to the morgue. I think about Emma, who wants to learn from me, who sees integrity as strength instead of weakness. I think about Margaret's voice. Promise me you'll always do the right thing. Yes, I tell the class. It was worth everything. The kid nods. He writes something in his notebook. Class begins. I teach them about load-bearing walls, about concrete curing times, about why we have codes and standards and inspections, about why every shortcut, every corner cut, every bribe paid is a life risked. After class, the kid from the back comes up to me. Mr. Mitchell, my dad works construction. He says you're a legend, says you're the last of the honest builders. He told me if I ever get the chance to learn from you, I should take it. What's your dad's name? I ask. Rodriguez. Carlos Rodriguez. I smile. Of course it is. Tell your father I said hello, and tell him thank you for raising a son who wants to do things right. That night, I'm walking to my truck when my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Dad? Derek's voice, calling from prison. I don't say anything. Dad, I wanted to say. He stops. I hear him breathing. Those 8 men, they could have died because of me. Yes, I say. They could have. You saved them. I should have listened to you. Yes, Derek, you should have. Silence. Then, do you think I can ever fix this? Make it right? I don't know, son. That's up to you. You have 4 years to figure it out. Will you? Will you come visit me? I think about it. I think about Margaret, about promises, about doing the right thing even when it's hard. Maybe, I tell him. When you're ready to understand why I did what I did, when you're ready to see that some things matter more than money. I think I'm starting to understand, Dad. I have a lot of time to think in here. Good, I say. Keep thinking. And Derek? Yeah? Emma wants to be an architect, a good one, like her grandfather should have been. I'm going to make sure she learns what matters. Thank you, Dad, for not giving up on her. Or on me. I haven't given up on you, Derek. I just couldn't let you keep hurting people. We hang up. I sit in my truck for a long time, looking at the Chicago skyline, all those buildings, all that concrete and steel and glass. Some of them I built. With my own hands, my own sweat, my own pride. They'll stand for 100 years. Long after I'm gone, long after Derek is forgotten, long after Riverside Towers is torn down. Because I built them right. I never cut corners. I never bought off an inspector. I never valued profit over human life. And that's my legacy, not the company, not the money, the buildings that will stand, the lives I saved, the granddaughter who wants to follow in my footsteps the right way. I start the truck. I drive back to my apartment. It's small. It's not much. But it's mine. Bought with clean money, built on honest work. And when I lay down to sleep that night, I sleep well. For the first time in 6 months, I sleep through the night without nightmares. Because I kept my promise to Margaret. I did the right thing, even when it cost me everything, even when it destroyed my family, even when it hurt so much I thought I might die from it. Some betrayals do kill something forever. The relationship I had with Derek, that trusting father-son bond, that's dead. It died the night he kicked me out of his house. But something else was born. Respect. From Carlos. From Jenny. From David. From Emma. From 23 students who will build better buildings because I taught them that integrity matters more than profit. From 8 men who are alive today because I spoke up. That's worth more than any company, any money, any family name. That's worth everything. So if you're watching this from somewhere, from anywhere in the world, and you're facing a choice between doing the right thing and doing the easy thing, I'm here to tell you, do the right thing. Every time. No matter the cost. Because in the end, when you're 68 years old sitting in a diner with cold coffee, the only thing that matters is whether you can look yourself in the mirror. I can look myself in the mirror. Can you? Tell me in the comments. What would you have done? Would you have turned in your own son? Or would you have stayed silent? And if this story moved you, subscribe to Edward's Revenge Stories. Because every week, I share stories about people who stood up, who spoke up, who paid the price for doing what's right. Thank you for listening to an old builder's confession. Thank you for being here. And remember, the buildings you construct with integrity will stand long after you're gone. Make sure they're worth standing.